people. So, I don't want to say good morning because, that word morning, geez, it has its own condensation or condensation or whatever that word is. Conden- Condensation. What is that word? I'll have to look that up. I haven't used it in a while. Condensation. I could hear it in my head, but my lips won't pronounce it. What the heck is that? I'm going to have to ask Google. But if I ask right now, it's going to pause the video. Okay, so let's do the administrative part first, shall we? Oh, boy. I brought a little heater. I'm, uh, I'm in a booth. I brought a little heater. I don't know why. I thought it was a good idea to take it out of the hoopty and put it in the house when I could still be using it. I kind of got fooled by the temperatures, where the weatherman actually forecasts the weather correctly. Who knew? But for some reason or another, I figured, oh, I'll just put on a sweatshirt and man it out until this new sun that we have starts burning people's skins. Sheesh. All right, so here we are trying to get subscribers to the channel. Do it now so you won't have to think about it later. Try to get some likes on the video so it'll stay up longer. I guess the logarithm said, oh, somebody likes this video. I get a lot of awards on Facebook's or rewards on Facebook for being a engaging content creator. That's a word I wasn't planning on using this morning. Okay, so like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do it now. You won't have to think about it later, and you'll help me reach a milestone for 1,000 subscribers. And then I'm going to go for 100,000, because if I could get 1,000 people to like what I'm doing, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, sometimes I get a comment, so what are you talking about? Good morning, grand rising. Who we got this morning? That's an early bird. Going to get the worm. Pablo. Latori. Or is it Pablo Latori? Which one is it? But it's good to see you. So don't forget, like the video. Do it now so you won't have to think about it later. So, I have this routine and I want you young people to try it. I know that when we're teenagers, we get into this attitude portion of our lives, and it kind of carries into our young adulthood, and trying to figure out how to break that cycle, all right, or how to come out of it, because you won't do it naturally. You're going to have to do things that your parents did for you. Now you have to do them on your own. For example, they provided you meals when you felt like eating. Okay, you would, but they provided a boring environment for you, and it was only boring because of your uh, where you were in your journey. All right, you want to go out and you want to experience life, and you want to go out and hang with your friends and stuff like that. There, one thing parents know about friends, which all young people find out, friends are unpredictable. I don't know how many of you ever been with a friend and they ended up doing something like, I don't know, hey, could you take me to the store? And they end up robbing the convenience store or something, hopping in your car. I'm pretty sure nobody under the sound of my voice has done anything like that, but I just want to give you an idea of how unpredictable people are. And I really don't have to give you an idea because I'm pretty sure you have it. But so you're going to have to pick your friends wisely. So here's what you do. You pick a friend that, let's just say, is always happy. Everybody needs a doctor in the family, a lawyer in the family, and a mechanic. And everyone needs in their life those three things, plus someone who, number one, has a sense of humor. Okay? And they will say things to you that will help you uh, become a better person. Because believe it or not, when you come through your teenage years, you're not really a better person. Okay? Tell the truth. Shame the devil. All right? At Robert Toe. At Roberto Toleran. I like names from people from other countries because our names are kind of bland um, in America. Like John, Paul. Now, your names in other countries might mean that, but the way you write them and the way you pronounce them in your language it's just awesome. I've always had this thing where I wanted to learn another language. I probably should have, but um, while you guys are, I'm coming in. Yes, you're so right. Hey, hey, the girl, Mill. Oh man, what a wonderful time it is for women. With that underlining thing from the patriarchal system, I'm still in existence, but this is a good time to be a woman because they're turning to their divine nature. All right, or at least they are accepting. A lot of them are accepting their divine nature. Okay, and they were already good. There were some that were bad because of their experiences. Okay, even in families, even in their family situation, if they haven't went too far from the family situation. But we have this thing in America where if you are from like certain states, excuse me, um, I'm kind of like a hypochondriac because I watch the health videos and stuff, and they say that Ebola is on the rise. Over in our sister country, the motherland. Uh, Ebola has a lot to do with the same thing the last thing does, upper respiratory thing. So if I have any mucus at all, I'm getting it out of me. Okay, Grand Rising, Roberto. Uh, what time is it where you are? With a name like Roberto, you probably aren't from America, right? We don't have that many Robertos. I could probably go all day and you don't meet a Roberto that I name. I mean, that I know. Where are you from, Roberto? Pablo? Where are you from? Okay, so you're going to have to learn while we're waiting for those guys and gals to put where they're from in there. Um, let's just send out a prayer for Iran. Let's send out a prayer for Taihan or Tyran or uh, Palestine, all these places that are getting bombed. It's just unimaginable to me that there is a scenario somewhere, as peaceful as it is right here, there's a scenario somewhere where it's just not that cool. They're just dropping bombs. I would call for peace, but I don't want to go against a divine plan on how there's going to be a transfer of leadership here. Okay. Um, I keep seeing this video on my For You, and it starts, I think the title of it is Only the Best People. And I looked at their profile picture or their highlighted picture or whatever. And I don't know if these people are just guilty by association, because if you hang with a criminal, eventually you're going to be associated with that criminal activity and stuff. So I don't know how many presiding presidents or current presidents or whatever had so many people leave their jobs. Could you imagine leaving a government job when you're that high on the totem pole? Sheesh. So I don't know. I guess it has some. I hope that it would have something to do with the bombing. I think a lot of people, with the bombings that are going on over the world, even if it's AI generated, um, that's terrible that you would do this to people's heads. All right, I understand that they're trying to cut down traffic or drugs and stuff like that there, but I understand that they're trying to uh, bomb people who apparently just went to a concert and just started grabbing people at a concert. I could understand that, but I also know how to look at it. So, for example, if you uh, if you are going to tell a story, you're going to present it in a way that makes you come across looking good. So whatever is going on over there, I guess in Palestine or whatever, I think they showed what happened that made them just start bombing people. I think they might have unalived, and this is, I don't know, I don't want to do the research. I believe that the Bible says that in a scripture that 1,000 shall die at one hand and 10,000 on your right. So I kind of understand that. So I don't want to go against divine intervention and divine prophecy being fulfilled. It's just, I hope that I'm not either one of the 1,000 on one hand or one of the 10,000 on another hand for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's it's it's terrible. We don't think about it, but it's an underlining thing. When we had, what do you call it? Peace talks or negotiations with Iran, uh, what they did, and our commander in chief actually said that he pulled a surprise attack. He was doing some kind of uh, press meeting or something, and he had the leader of Japan or representative from Japan seated across from him. And of course, the press corps, we love the press. Okay, they might want to change that. That lends itself too easily to depress. You know what I'm saying? All right. So anyway, we love the press, and being a host, he asked a Japanese reporter if he wanted to ask a question. Okay, because I'm sure that the representative from Japan brought their own press corps. Like wherever our commander in chief goes, he takes the press with him. You know what I'm saying? So he can get ahead of the narrative. I digress. I saw one video. What he does, I guess there's a certain part of the Air Force One plane where the press sit in one part and the president and his guys they sit in another part, kind of like on a regular plane. First class sits in one part and it has a partition, and then the rest of us are behind that partition. Okay, which really isn't as solid as it looks. I was surprised when I finally figured out that and the reason why I figured that out is because the I was on a flight once, and for some reason or another, the husband and wife asked me to do a husband and a wife asked me to do them a favor, and I was like, okay, what is it? They wanted me to change seats with them. I don't understand how they got separated. It seemed like they would have set themselves together, but it might have been on one of those flights where you don't pay for your seat. It's just first come, first serve, okay? That's the only thing that I could think, because if you're going to purchase a seat and you have a significant other, you probably want to sit together. But anyway, it was probably one of those flights. So after I was seated, somebody asked me if I would change my seats so they could sit with their significant other. So I did. And where the guy was sitting was right behind the partition for uh, on first class. He wasn't on the front of it. He was behind it, on the regular people side. So that's when I figured out that that partition, well, it's kind of flimsy, but it'll work. It'll get the job done. All right. So anyway, he comes out and he asks he's going to have a question and answer, because people want to know, okay, or the press wants to know, hey, how did it go? And the problem with social media and the news and stuff like that, I don't think most people are forward thinking. Okay, there was a social media reporter. He was at a gas station or he was at a rally or something. He was out in the public and he asked the lady something about Trump. She said, without missing a beat, she said, "Oh, I must be stupid because I voted for him twice." Okay. Where I kind of get that. I don't typically vote, but I will go down if there's a candidate that's a person of color, and I'll try to get them in. Okay. One thing I like about people of color, the Bible says that when the righteous rule, the people are happy. So the person of color, Barack Obama, when he was in, uh, the atmosphere for people of color was uh, the oppression was lifted a little bit. You would have had to been there. I mean, you would entertain thoughts like, "Hey, anybody who is under 8 years old, with their understanding, the the uh, the president or the president is black, so they're thinking, well, presidents are black, you know." So anyway, I love that scenario. I always like to try to find something good about a situation, but we see how they waited. People people got all the patience in the world. They waited until after he was out of the office. Now he got 2 terms consecutive. He went 8 years. And I think he might have got the N word called once or twice, but it wasn't really advertised, because I know that these type of people who have that type of attitude, they're not a respecter of persons. If you the Bible says that the creator of heaven and earth is not a respecter of persons, but the ones who are like racists, they're not respecters of persons either, because they just, I don't know, they just don't like people. I couldn't imagine being a racist, but I kind of know the feeling, because it has to be similar to what I have about non-melanated people. When you get my age, you tend to want to remind the younger people about the past. All right. And the people, the non-melanated people, have a really bad past. Okay. Let's just say it like that. And their offspring and their legacy is uh, kind of going to have to step up to the plate and own up to that. Okay. But you guys, boy, especially you guys in Florida, I don't know how they thought that they could take out books and curriculums that emphasize the uh, contributions of people of color. I don't know how they could do that when a lot of the area is people of color. When we grew up, we weren't really thinking about the population, the demographics of it in Florida. We were just thinking that most of the people who can't take the winter would move to Florida. We used to call them, what did we used to call them? Snowbirds. All right, so whenever it snows, they would fly to Florida. And these people would have to have some significant income, because they're maintaining property in two places. So somebody like me, if I couldn't stand the winter, chances are pretty good I wouldn't be a snowbird, because I just don't got it like that. Oh, by the way, why I have your attention. Everybody knows someone in their family that got a stock tip. Okay. All right. And they always are trying to get people to invest in them, at least from HW's perspective. All right. I want you to invest in two things: false flag, FALSE, flag, FLAG, and Black Wall Street. All right. Uh, we had a segment of time where Black Wall Street was significant, and it was significant enough to be burned down to the ground, at least from the pictures. I wasn't there. Um, I may have been born whenever it was being destroyed, or I might have came along, well, like within 10 years after that. But they burned that place down. So now we have a new Black Wall Street. So I want you to invest in it. Okay. And I hope that you are pleasantly surprised with the uh, in 1933, the Federal Emergency Relief Act of 1933 was established. And what had happened was, and I learned this from Kahan, or a teacher. All right. In some countries, it's these type people are Cohens, Cohen. But people of color, we just call them Kahans, which just means teacher. That's all. Okay. No big religious thing or anything. Kahans. T-A-Z-A-N. Tazadaq. Spelled just like it sounds. Tazadaq. All right. So he was teaching us some of the things that he learned about the Federal Emergency Relief Act of 1933, and it was a law. It wasn't an executive order. It was a law. So to surmise what it is without reading the thing, like most of us haven't read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. We know we have them, but when's the last time you read it? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. If you follow Kahan Tazadaq, you'll see that there may be some teaching on the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and stuff. Like, for example, as time goes on, or as you keep living, and if you stay on your journey, you're going to find that the Constitution isn't for me. It's supposed to be applied toward me. If I'm being considered for something, the Constitution is supposed to be applied to us. Okay? So the Kahan has done some research. He got the receipts and stuff, and he's talking about the Federal Emergency Relief Act of 1933, Public Law 7310. Okay? So now, we are having something similar to that. Because of that law, what they wanted was the gold. I guess they were trying to have some kind of battle or something like that. There, anytime that there's a move for money like that from the people, it generally has panned out in America to be some kind of war effort. You know what I'm saying? Or some type of greed. All right, so people are just greedy, and if they are in a position of power, they will get your money. Okay, so what they had done was, I don't know how, I don't know if you know about the American history, but we used to have gold in them der here hills. Der, D-E-R. There's gold in them der hills, or gold in them der hills, or something like that. I'm trying to use that accent of a cowboy. Okay, so what they decided to do was, okay, like the Anunnaki did, they let the slaves go dig all the gold, and then the Anunnaki, who created that type of person, um, they would get the gold from them. Okay, so the people that the Anunnaki created were just to do the labor. All right, that the Anunnaki didn't want to do. And they probably only had like 3 fingers or something like that. If you look at some of the photos and stuff, they don't really look human. So they really can't dig, because they got heads like crows or something, or wings or something like that there. So they couldn't really dig the gold, but they knew it was there, so they had to come up with this a worker class, and that's what they did. All right, power corrupts. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately. And imagine creating something that would go do your work for you. It's kind of like where we are now. There's nothing new under the sun, young people. You're going to find that out, okay? I know you're curious and you want to start life. There's nothing new under the sun. The entirety of the time that you've been here, you've experienced everything that's already happened, okay? This thing just repeats. Wash, rinse, and repeat. So the Anunnaki came up with workers to get the gold, and now in 2026, they're coming up with workers to, and they want our money for being the workers. They actually could have a belief system that allows them to think that we're supposed to work for them. I don't know. All right. Um, they came up with a money system. I don't mind if you come up with a money system that the Christ said, show me a coin. And they did. And he said, whose picture is on the coin? And it was Caesar's. So he said, render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and render to God what is God's. Okay, so in case you don't know, what is God's? It's praise and worship and gratitude. All right, so uh, that is for us that are not created by the Anunnaki. That is our spiel. You have to remember that the let's just say the real people or the natural people or the aboriginals were slaves, and at some point um, our creator was like, okay, here we're going to knock off the slave stuff. I want you all to come out of slavery and come out here and praise and worship me and express your gratitude. All right, everybody wants a good report. Who will you believe? I don't know who you will believe, but for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Okay, so we are those type of people, and people who believe in Him. They are a peculiar people. They're set apart. They just basically want to praise and worship. Okay, and they're pretty good at it too. All right. But so what they're doing now with us regular people, they're getting us into an Anunnaki situation where they're getting us to invest in like Black Wall Street or false flag, and then at some point they'll crash that market. Okay, after you get so high. Hillary Clinton, she was a leader here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, help me out. That doesn't mean you have to come on and listen to me every time I do a video. You don't have to do that. I'll get new people every day. I'll always have someone to listen to me. Okay, I do cover many topics in each video, so the logarithm will put me on more For You pages. Whenever I do a video, before it processes and post, YouTube gives me this little message. The logarithm is finding your group or whatever. Okay, so I know that the logarithm does that. So it's listening to keywords or inflections, and it's sending out my videos to people who use the same type of words I use. So that's kind of how that works. Young people, if you're wondering how are you going to get 1,000 subscribers, just start talking and talk about different subjects. All right, don't overwhelm the people who've been listening to your video from the beginning today. But you want to cover different topics. So you're going to sound like you're all over the page to somebody who's hearing you for the first time. But hey, it is what it is. If that person who's giving you a thumbs down, if you had a chance to listen to them, you would probably not really be vibing with their page and stuff. But I don't have that problem. I have people who are vibing with me. Right, Roberto? All right, so the Federal Emergency Relief Act was established because they wanted all the people's gold. And if you kept the gold, if you did not turn in your gold, this is when they were trying to go from gold to paper money. Okay, I've told something similar to you guys before, so I'm not repeating. I'm just trying to show you something that I picked up since then. So this might sound familiar, but I'm going to have a highlight in here that I probably didn't have the last time. All right, so they wanted the people's gold, and they wanted to switch to paper money. Okay, they called it certificates. All right. So kind of look at it like this: if you have a $2 bill, all right, it should have some silver in the face of the $2 bill and on the back of it. So if you have a $2 bill, and if you go sell it, not if you go spend it, but if you go sell it to like a coin collector or something, and if it's in good shape, really good shape, it's worth more than $2 because it has silver in it. All right, now this is for people who collect. All right, coins and dollar bills and stuff. People who do that, they see a value in a quarter that for you it's just a quarter, but for them, they looked at the date and they saw it's 1940 or something. All right, which I wouldn't pay a nickel that much of attention. All right, until someone made a joke of it, about it. Your mom's so fat, if she sat on a nickel, a booger would come out of the nose or something. I messed that joke up, didn't I? All right, so now they're doing the same thing. So they're trying to get people to invest so that they can take all that money. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. We can literally print as much money as we need. All right, and somebody said, "Oh, you don't want to have that many dollar bills in circulation or stuff like that." There, I don't know if you young people know this, but what they used to do, as far as I can remember, like at the end of the year or something, all the banks would turn in all the money that they had, and it would be counted and credited to whatever family member was under the letter on the serial number. So, for example, if I had a $10 bill, the series of the tens would be G 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that G is for family member, okay? Of the, let's just say, for the sake of the story, it would be for that family member or that family generation of uh, yeah, okay, so whenever the Federal Reserve makes money, the family that has the old money is going to give them the funds that they need to print the money. All right, so if I help you print the money, or if I pay for you to print the money, I want you to put my name on it. So the way they put their name on it is by those letters in the serial number. Okay, so at the end of the year, that they would get all the money, all the used bills. They would send something out and on the news. Hey, now's the time to turn in your money or your old money or something. And they would catalog it and burn it. Okay, so we used to burn money. Get it? All right. So every so the people who paid for the tens to be the ink that was required for the tens, the money that they paid for the workers and stuff like that. There, well, they would get credit for that. Okay, and they would get more money than a ten. So, for example, like I just gave you the example of the $2 certificates. Well, they still do that in the sense that when the money gets turned back in, who's ever the G is, uh, they get credit for that. This is why they have old money. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, in the United States, they made a lot of tens. Um, one of the guys who's trying to help me out with a little side gig, he decided to pay me once in all tens. It would. It, I'm like, okay. I mean, I took it. Uh, Okay, so that was a lot of tens. All right, 10 times 10 is 100. 20 times 10 is 200, and that is 20 tens. So that's 40 tens that I had, which actually worked out pretty good because he doesn't pay me, uh, or he doesn't trade with me in a capacity where every time I do a job or something, he just lets it accumulate. So that's cool. All right, so now, so this is where we are. This is the system that you're in. All right, they're not lying to you about the money system. They're just not telling you. They feel that you should know. I mean, they're not hiding it. Like some of the uh, people who are demon faced. All right, I'm pretty sure that that exists. I'm pretty sure that demon face is a real thing. Uh, because I've seen some people, and I was like, "You sure is ugly." um, I'm not calling anyone ugly. I think I have a sense of humor because that phrase was in a movie called Color Purple. Okay, and the lady who said that she was acting. She said that to Whoopi Goldberg, who was actually acting. But since that movie, we might have felt that Whoopi Goldberg was ugly. She wasn't. She was actually pretty. And after she went through that movie role and got paid and stuff, and she actually had an opportunity to do some things where she actually looked quite appealing. Okay, but that was the part of the movie that kind of um, stood out. And the person who said that to her was actually an alcoholic. You should watch the movie. I don't want to give you the whole movie, but it'll show you, like, say you're being bullied. It'll show you a way how to handle bullies. All right, we don't really have classes or lessons on how to handle bullies. You just work it out. I was talking to one young guy on here, and he was saying that he was being bullied, and whenever I told him, I said, "Well, turn him in." He said, "Well, whenever I do that, the teacher just sends me home." I'm like, "Oh Lord." So we are, as a society, even to this day, are not prepared to deal with bullies, and that's because uh, some preachers, pastors, teachers, and evangelists work from a position called a bully pulpit. Now, could you imagine? Okay, and the courts and judges, they wear a robe and they sit elevated, so they actually have a bully talk down to the defendant and stuff. But they have to be very careful, all right, because they have requirements. So, for example, you can't belittle someone as you're giving them a sentence. That's all it is. All right. They have to be very, very careful because it's like anything else. Uh, they can be sued. Now, you're not going to get anything out of their wallet, but they have something that's called a bond or a certificate that they have to have. It's kind of like insurance for judges and lawyers, and they could lose that. And once they lose that, then they can't practice law anymore, which is really weird because they shouldn't be practicing law anyway. But I digress. I digress. I'm over educated or overexposed to some of the things that are actually going on, because I want to share it with people, and it'll make you feel better. The more you know, that the better you'll do, the better you'll feel. All right. The goal is to get you free. So freedom doesn't come. Freedom may come from an executive order or something, but you can be a slave and be freer than the master. Okay. I mean, imagine if you were a slave owner, you got 50 slaves. That's not going to go well. Okay. That's why they kind of had to end slavery, because at some point, people get tired of being uh, enslaved, which is what America, or uh, maybe not so much America, but the government is going to find that we as a people are kind of tired of being enslaved. So there's going to be, revolt. Um, so, young people, I want you to, if you're going to go to the revolts or whatever, kind of stay to the back. Be one of those also ran people. Um, take a picture, show, you're there, show your solidarity, but don't be up there in the front line, pushing the cops and stuff around. And, okay, because the consequence of that is, oh boy, yeah, you wouldn't want that. All right, because you could have went your whole life without having that stigma associated with your name. Which, to be fair, the stigma that the government puts on you really doesn't affect you. It affects the person who is just doing their job, like at the airport or the bus station or train station or something. They may look you up and be like, "Oh, you went to that big riot they had in 2027." Okay, so that might put you on some kind of list. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right. So anyway, I hope I said something that you'll be able to use. I want you to give honor and glory to the creator of heaven and earth, and I don't care who you are. You should know that something created this. And we just took it from there, which was fine. It was the reins were given to us, and we ended up giving the reins to somebody else. We're just a foolish uh, nation, or somebody just took the reins because nobody was standing watch or on guard. And next thing you know, here we are. So that's how you can free yourself on the inside. Give praise and honor and glory to God. That's what He asked us for. And the ones who did not do that, they didn't make it into the promised land. It's just a story that you can read for yourself. It's in that little black book on your coffee table. It's got dust on it. Just dust it off, blow the dust off of it, and read it. It is liberating. And once someone is free in their mind, they have the burden of the chains. You should see some of the things that they placed on their slaves, like these. They'll put something on their neck. I mean, this is in the past. They'll put something on their neck, and it'll have some sort of thing with bells on it. Okay, they would put that on a person who was known for running and not agreeing to be a slave. So they would always try to get away, and at some point, the master said, "Here, put this on them." All right, kind of like we do sheep. Um, we put bells around their neck, kind of like how we do cows, because they tend to wander. So if they got the bell on, you can always find them. It was an ingenious plan, but when you do it to a human, So what they decided to do was, instead of putting bells on us, now they just put social security numbers on us, IDs and stuff. So they always know where you are. And some of the things in the 2030 agenda, 2025 agenda, has a lot of that stuff in it. That's why it's so thick. That's it. So people don't read it. Holy moly. But they do have this new thing advertised, I saw on, I think, TikTok, that you take a picture or a video of the book. So you have to use your phone. And since any book that is ever printed goes to a place in the archives in Washington, D.C., right? So you put this app on it and it'll read the whole book to you. So somebody somewhere took the time to put in the national, man, I can't think of the name of it, but I do know that, in my estimation, they've, any book that's written and published, that's why they want it to get published, not so much that you can make money, but so they can record it. Okay, everything is recorded. Everything. You got the flock cameras, they're watching you. So if you write a book, they want to record that. And you take this app and it'll read the whole book for you. It's great. Some of the things that we have available to us, I think, should be free to us. But somebody figured out how to make money off of it, and they do. So now you got to buy it. So anyway, buy wisdom and sell it not, is what the Bible says. So I'm going to spend a couple of dollars on it. The only thing I could tell you is, after you spend the money on something like that, it's the same as spending money on your cheeseburgers. The money's gone, but you get nourishment from it. So get the tools that will nourish you. All right, not so much entertain you. All right, the PS5s and all those entertainment things they have. I understand it's just a way for you to escape, but life is way more exciting than a video game. Okay, if you sit at a video game long enough, you got pain in your hips, your back has pain and stuff like that. All right, I had a grandson. He was into video games, and he would do what you call. He was respectful, and he would acknowledge your presence, but he would keep playing the game. It's kind of like when we were growing up, we would listen to music and do our homework. You know what I'm saying? And that sort of thing drives a parent crazy. And that's because we understand that you can really only do one thing at a time and get 100% participation and get the full benefit of that particular encounter. Okay. All right. So anyway, nobody has any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Any questions? Anybody? Okay. If you ask questions, I'll keep going. But if you don't ask questions, I don't want to get the reputation. I just like to hear my voice. I got to tell you, I don't think my voice is. I don't know. I know people who have voices that I would like to listen to, and mine is. It's not number one. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Okay. I don't know. Okay, so the reason why I had a little interruption was I wanted to push a button. I pushed the button, and I saw that I could share my video while I'm still alive. What I mean, still alive. Well, while I'm still doing a live video, I didn't know I could do that. I always waited for a day until the video was processed, but apparently you can do that while you're live. So I'll take a look at that and see how long it is. Okay, so make it a great day. Do something. Be kind. All right, it's easy to do. Um, People who have a little bit of maturity will walk past you and they give you that little nod. All right, that's a kind thing to do. It's easy. All right, and help someone, make someone, someone else have a great day. All right, love ya. See ya. Okay. Now I can turn the thing off. Holy moly.